Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 19 of the 72 review. Going to start by saying a happy new year and welcome to 2023 to everybody watching. We've got the usual lineup in tonight's show. To my left is Ian Bradley from Over the Bar. Ian, introduce yourself. Let us know what you're into and what you do.
Yeah, 60 plus Rotherham fan, season ticket holder. Also do occasional vlogs for Over the Bar YouTube channel. The next one being at Portman Road this coming Saturday for Ipswich against Rotherham FA Cup tie, if you want to tune into that when I upload it.
Lovely stuff. Do like the FA Cup, we get to watch some football on normal telly, which is all I've got.
Yeah.
And then below me, we've got Jake, Punk Chef 41, a very happy, happy owl, aren't you? So introduce yourself. Let us know what you're all about, mate.
I'm Punk Chef 41, aka Jake. I do a Sheffield Wednesday fan channel. I've been doing it for ages now. And I also co-host a Talking Wednesday podcast where we talk all things Wednesday. And I am a very happy out. And talking of games that are on the telly, Sheffield Wednesday versus Newcastle will be one of the TV games. So you will get to watch us hopefully not get smashed by Newcastle.
We will see on that one. As always, if you've not watched this before, get your comments in. We've got a couple already. We've got Footsie, guessing Wednesday fan.
Yep, he is.
The answer to that's no.
Yeah.
Chal is in the chat. Happy New Year to all of you.
Happy
Thanks
New
again for
Year, Chal.
yesterday. Presented him with the Chal on door, which was appreciated. I think he received it very well. Hope you're well, Ian and Jake. And then ATID, regular commenter on the show. Happy New Year. 9 points out of 9 over Xmas. A better turnout than the greatest team League One has ever seen. Who aren't in the top two at the minute. So there we go. This show's going to run a little bit differently. Normally we go through Championship, League One and League Two, and we bounce around the grounds and talk about what's happened over the weekend. But obviously there's 3 games for each of us to go through for each of our clubs over the festive period. So we're just going to cover those. I think probably the best place to start would be the Championship.
Oh,
Ian, you've not had, sorry.
Sorry,
You've not had a great festive period, have you? It started off relatively okay with a draw against Stoke, but then it's kind of gone downhill from there. But
yeah, I'd agree with that.
We'll start with a 2-2.
The Stoke game, to be honest with you, two really poor teams. I mean, we're injury decimated at the moment with quite a few players going down. We had Ben Wiles go off with a season-ending injury in this game, got stretchered off quite early on. And we were fairly competitive up to half time, although Stoke did miss some really good chances, and Victor Johansson pulled a couple of good saves off. 2 really bad defensive errors. One from Richard Wood, which were inexcusable, to give Therese Campbell an equaliser after Thompson had put through his own goal earlier on. And then after we took the lead again with a decent Connor Washington goal, Peltier headed the ball into the back of his own net from a corner. And after that, a combination of bad finishing and Victor Johansson's saves stopped us from losing. So, yeah, it was a very good point. I'm not saying it was deserved, but we'll take it. So it was an okay start to season, but it went badly downhill from there.
I forgot there were 2 own goals in this game.
Yeah.
I think we'll move on to the next game, which was your guys on the 29th, wasn't it? Yeah. Bit of the proverbial 6-pointer down towards the bottom end of the Championship, wasn't it?
As I said, it went downhill from the Stoke game. We managed to make Huddersfield Town look like Barcelona. We was absolutely abysmal in this game. The space that Dwayne Holmes and Jordan Rhodes had for both goals were idiotic. There were no challenges. They're just sort of like, go ahead, shoot. And they did. And we'd never built up a head of steam. It looks closer on the stats than what it actually was. I mean, when it was 2-0 in the second half, Jamie Lindsay missed a sitter. volleyed it wide when he had the whole goal to aim at. But Huddersfield completely deserved to win. I'm not arguing about that. It's just the fight and commitment that we are supposedly known for has just evaporated completely. I don't know where we go from here. I'm hoping for a few signings in January. But if we keep playing the way we are doing, there's only one place we are going, and that's back to League One. It's as bad as that.
It's not good to hear. But like I say, statistically on this one, it looks a pretty even game, and it's just the fact that Holmes and Rhodes have put their chances away and made it look a comfortable win. But are you just not at the races? Is it players not playing for the manager?
And Huddersfield aren't a good team, as they've shown in games since then. I think they've gotten beaten twice. 1-2 Luton yesterday. So they're still well in the mire.
Yeah, I think that was the second win on the bounce, wasn't it? They started to put to put a bit of a run together because
they didn't particularly impress me, but they did enough to beat us, which you suppose is all right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember a couple of weeks ago we were saying that we had big concerns about Huddersfield's position in the table. But we'll have a look at the table after we've spoke about the Millwall game to see how the land lies before we go into 2023. West Brom, they've picked up massively over the last couple of months or so.
Really well,
But yeah, Huddersfield have cut that gap. I mean, you mentioned they've been beat by Luton yesterday, but I think that just stopped them going three wins on the bounce, which is not bad to say that they were bottom of the table before before the festive period.
Well, the less said about this one, the better. Oh God, they were terrible, and I mean terrible. I mean, we conceded from a set piece after 4 minutes again, and when Rotherham go a goal down this season, there ain't no coming back for him. They go into damage limitation mode. In other words, all-out defence. Millwall are a very good side, a very, very good side for this league. And I think if I were a Millwall fan, I think I'd be disappointed in only scoring 3. But again, we've got Victor Johansson to thank for keeping it not to a cricket score.
Yeah,
I mean, look at that, 27 shots, 11 on targets, and 5 and 1 on target. I mean, there was a point in this game when it was 1-0 early in the second half. Barlaser put a through ball in, sent Connor Washington completely clean through. He rounded the goalkeeper and blazed it over the bar. And then he thought it was funny. He was smiling about it. I don't know. Make of that what you will.
Fans,
but yeah, it's appalling. It's abysmal at the moment. I'm just glad that we have got now, 11, 12 days before the next league game, which is not going to be easy. It's at home to Blackburn Rovers.
So
that's not going to be easy. But if we can get some bodies in and get 1 or 2 of his injury victims fit again, you never know. We might be able to field a bench, because on our subs bench, we had a goalkeeper and 6 defenders.
Jesus.
Yeah, there's nothing to change the game there, is there? If the initial tactics and game plan isn't working, there's no plan B to bring on.
There is no plan B. Set up not to get beat, concede after 4 minutes. That's it. Your plan's out the window.
I think the issue Rotherham got as well, you had such a style of play that those players are so used to, and then you got someone trying to change it overnight. It's not going to happen.
Now, either the players won't adapt or they can't adapt.
Yeah.
If they can't adapt, ship them out.
Yeah.
And get players in that can. Now, Matt Taylor, they're not his players. The squad that we've got now are not Matt Taylor's squad. He's got to get some of his own players in, some players that he's scouted, possibly from Exeter. Because we have been linked with that forward, that Giovanni Brown.
Good player.
We've been linked heavily with him. And also we've been linked with a striker who's scoring a lot of goals, Unfortunately, it's in the Northern Irish League.
That
It
being
might
said,
work,
though,
it might not.
that being said, though, there has been a lot of success from people getting strikers in from there. Reading in the day used to be the kings of doing that.
Yeah, it could. If it works, fantastic. I mean, Georgie Kelly came from the League of Ireland, and he's been injured most of the season, but when he's come in, he's done really well.
Kieran Sadler as well. He's a player who came over from Ireland and
that's right. He didn't work at Rotherham, but sadly, is a good player. He's a very good player. He's doing okay at Bolton now.
Yeah, I think League One's probably his level where he he performs to the expectation, to the level that's expected of him. Championship maybe,
and he's frightening from a set piece.
Yeah, but yeah, an okay start for the festive period for Rotherham, but then 2 games where the worries are starting and
rant over, guys. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. These are therapy sessions.
Yeah. We'll have a quick go through the comments before we have a look at the league table. We've got ATID. Cannot help but enjoy the misery that Pompey are going through at the minute. The fans needed a humbling, and I'm all for it, especially that Tom, who was certain that we would bottle it.
Absolutely, 100%. 4-0 written all over it is essential viewing right now.
Yeah. Footsit, only 1 Aaron Challoner. Jake, I'm concerned about Windass celebration. Well, lack of. I think he might be off. I think
he doesn't celebrate goals
shortly.
He doesn't celebrate goals.
Liz is in the chat. Hi lads, big fan of Ian as always. There's 3 of us on this show, Lizzie.
Yeah.
Footsy's saying that it'd be depressed if I was a Rotherham fan. It's looking bleak.
I am depressed.
He just doesn't show it.
We're trying to help him through it. Robert Birtles, yes, Punk. Nat is in the chat as well. Evening, Nat. And he's also wanting to, asking Ian if they can borrow a defender.
We've got loads of them. Only trouble is they're not very good. You can have Richard Wood back.
And ATID is saying absolutely ransack Exeter, so they disappear back to League 2 where they belong. So he's wanting Exeter to be absolutely
To be honest, Exeter's doing fine. They're doing absolutely fine.
Yeah, but the festive fixtures have done quite a bit to the table. We'll start down at the bottom, and Wigan. It's been a tough period for them, hasn't it? 3 games, conceded 12, only scored 3. 3-4-1
defeats on the trot, innit?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it could be worse, Ian. You could be a Wigan fan.
Oh, don't worry, we'll be there soon enough.
The couple of wins for Huddersfield have closed that gap and tightened it up for them. Like I said, a couple of weeks ago, we were really worried for Huddersfield. There was a gap opening up. They were starting to get cut adrift, whereas they've clawed that back, haven't they? Still a lot of work to do in the second half of the season for them to get out of trouble, though. Blackpool's in there as well. Would you say that those 3 teams are worse than you, Ian, or not?
At the moment, I can't see any team being worse than us, to be honest with you, because both Wigan and Huddersfield have already beaten us this season. Blackpool, I'm not so sure about. I mean, they've had 4 draws out of 5, which isn't really too bad.
No.
But Jerry Yates has stopped scoring, and they look vulnerable at the back, so they might be joining us in League One. We've got them to play, I think, is our next away game.
Another 6 points.
And our next league away game.
Yeah.
Which will be interesting.
Interestingly,
Cardiff, dodgy.
Yep.
Bristol City, dodgy. But apart from that, from 18th upwards, they'll be fine.
Also, remember, Cardiff cannot sign anyone in the transfer window.
Yeah, that's very true. I've not thought of that, yeah.
It's worrying me because we've got Mark McGuinness on loan from them. Don't get him back, he's rubbish.
It's not beyond the realms of possibility, is it, really?
I kind of can see it, to be fair. But apparently we're looking at Luke McNeil from Burnley.
All right.
Good player.
Mm.
Moving towards the top end of the table. Say again, Jake.
Look at West Brom.
Yeah, so
9th.
What, month and a half ago, they were close to the bottom 3, if not in the bottom 3, and they've gone on a superb run and literally just outside of the playoffs now. So I think you've said it before, Ian, on here that they've got a squad good enough to push for the top 6.
We are to doubt.
Can you see them looking back in this second half of the season, or can you see them pushing on and breaking into this?
I can see West Brom pushing on, to be quite honest with you. I can see them getting in the playoffs, because if they can continue this form that they're on at the moment, they're good. They are really good, and they attack and they keep attacking. I can see them getting a playoff spot. But again, I mean, looking at that table, if the Blades win tonight, you may as well just promote those two now and just go for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because they look at the form in Burnley and Blades.
Scary,
unbelievable.
Yep.
And also, in what sort of a job is Michael Carrick doing at Borough?
Superb, really.
Wow. Won away again today.
Yeah.
They're doing really, really well.
See, for me, I think Sunderland, it's worth mentioning them coming up from League One, and they're performing probably above the expectation that they'd see. They're
doing quite well. They're doing really well.
I think they'd have been happy with mid-table, but
whenever you've got Sims and Stewart up front, you're going to score goals.
Definitely. Yeah, I'd agree with that. So yeah, possibly Sunderland or West Brom to break into this top six for us.
Or even both of them.
Yeah, but who would drop out? Like you say, Borough doing well, Blackburn doing well, Millwall very tough to beat.
If there's a team that might fall out of him, I'd tip Slaven Bilic's Watford.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's inconsistent form, isn't it? I mean, Blackburn.
But you do realise if they fall out of that, he's getting sacked.
Well, they lost 4-0 yesterday, so I'm surprised he's still there.
They love a sacking, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, definitely. They go through 5 managers a season normally.
Like I say, I think the top two are pretty much signed and sealed without something crazy going wrong for Sheffield United or Burnley. We'll see how Sheffield United perform. Jake's not happy with that. But it's nice to see local clubs doing well.
It is nice to do well, and it's good for the city if another club from here comes.
Come on, if you guys go up and Blades go up, it's a fantastic season for the city.
It's great for the city. It's just as a rival, you just don't like to see it.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah.
What you do want to see though is a Sheffield United.
We haven't had one in ages.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So that's how the championship lays at the minute. We'll move on to League One. And Jake, you guys have had a very good festive period. Starting at Fleetwood with a 2-1 win. Talk us through this one.
Didn't start great originally. Sean Rooney with just a really good goal, and we'll talk about him a little bit later on. Then Bayer gets us back into it. Really good goal in the box. He just acted quicker and was like, I'll have that one. Thank you very much. We were okay, but we weren't showing a lot. Every time we were going forward, they had chances. But 20 shot, 4 on target. You do want it to be a little bit closer than that. And then Marvin Johnson just steps up with an absolute rocket.
Oh, it was a screamer.
It was a super... But the problem is you could see it. You could see he already lined it up, ready, and he just took his chance and went, I'll have that. And then Sean Rooney, what an absolute prat. He has no need to get involved with that situation at all. He's already on a yellow. So he decided to have a go at Marvin Johnson on the floor, then he has a go at the ref. And as he's going up, he decided to go after the fourth official stroke Wednesday bench. And Darren Moore just gets in the way and said, you're not doing that. And tried to have it out with Darren Moore.
Not a good idea, the size of Darren Moore.
Absolutely flatten you.
The tank of a man.
The best bit is that David Stockdale was like getting his 2 cents in as well. Two people you wouldn't really want to mess with.
No.
I think he got a 5-match ban. I think I read. He had got a match ban coming up. Hang on, I'll have a look. But it kind of disrupted everything for him. But the interesting thing with that was the whole kind of it was basically the whole kind of, you know who his manager is, and he was well known for being the kind of player who would have had the same
Scott
kind of
Brown.
attitude. Yeah, Scott Brown.
Yeah.
He would have had the same. But even when your manager coming out who played that style away and went, "You're an absolute idiot," says it all. Interestingly, Scott Brown wasn't the one trying to calm things down. All his assistants were. So I think, well, it's just ridiculous. But it started off our Christmas period in a good way because Fleetwood game was one of the games where we struggled, and I think it was this game where, it was Lee Gregory went off with back spasms, and we hadn't seen him since. He was having a really good game up until then, and Patterson so far have stepped up to roll really well. But it started off really good start for us.
Lovely stuff, and
it's good to see Byers back in team because you've missed him.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And that good start continued. We'll get the klaxon out for Michael Smith.
The annoying thing, we've got Bannon out injured again. It's a hamstring injury, sadly. So it's going to be one of the ones that takes a while. And we were like thinking, how are we going to do this now Bannon's gone? And we showed we can win games without Bannon. Now,
6 weeks, roughly?
6 weeks, roughly, yeah. But because it's on top of a old hamstring injury, just hoping I don't progress it worse. I think it's cold weather and he's 33. The older you get, these injuries take a bit longer to kind of...
Cheese strings for hamstrings.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this now. I did not think this was a penalty. I thought it was very harsh on Vale.
Yeah, I do.
When I saw it, I thought it was a very harsh penalty, but Michael Smith steps up, took it, gave it a little bit of a dig at the keeper because he knew which way he was going because he always goes that way. Wish he didn't say that in the interview, but, at least he's honest. Plays good football, but Vale, second half, they were a different team. They attacked us. One of their centre-backs have got such a good range of passing. I'd like to have a look at him in January. Robinson played well for them in the second half, but then Michael Smith comes out of nowhere with an absolute screamer. I didn't know.
It was a lovely girl, weren't it?
I did not know he had them in his locker. To be fair, and he just took it really well. And it's one of these things. You're looking at this, and then we're looking at games that have happened. And we're like, are we going to have this situation where it doesn't go our way again because the results hasn't gone our way? But we're playing some really lovely football, and it's really nice passing movement. It's really nice keeping the ball. Again, not many shots, but we're taking our chances now. The one thing I said recently, we weren't taking our chances. Now we're starting to take our chances, and we're on this back end of possibly having a lot of a good run in coming into the end of the season. Because when we can play good football, we are very good at it. And Darren Moore has a way of playing. And again, Cameron Dawson is in the net. He's keeping Stockdale out, and Stockdale got like one of the best clean sheet records in League One at the minute. And I think it's because Dawson can play better with the ball to feet. How we spoke about how it doesn't work. Well, it's working now. And I think that's because the goalkeeper knows how to play with a ball to feet. And I think that helps when you got a keeper who understands the modern tactics that there is in that. This is no disrespect to Stockdale, but he's not that kind of keeper.
Yeah.
But again, and a clean sheet, which is also handy. So the more clean sheets we can get, the better.
Yeah. And talking about keepers with balls to feet, that kind of touches on a point that Ian said earlier about the squad that Rotherham have got are a decent squad to play in a certain way. I think you do need the players who can play the football that the manager and the coaching staff are wanting. I think that's a problem that we've got at the Rovers at the minute. Have we got players that have got the ability to play how Danny Schofield's wanting them to play? I think we've seen little bits of it. And by the sounds of it, Darren Moore's found a keeper who's quite comfortable receiving the ball and effectively being a sweeper.
Yeah. I do think that's the reason he put him out on loan at Exeter, though, because Exeter play that way. Yeah. And I think he wanted him to get a style of football ready. But it credit to him as a keeper. If he's keeping out someone who's got 11 clean sheets in League One, it credit to him to say, you know what? But also, we've mentioned it on the Talking Wednesday at times. Was Stockdale brought in to mentor him?
Who knows? Because he's Stockdale must be about 33 now, I would have thought.
37.
37?
I think.
Wow. Although that's not old for a keeper.
No. keeper tend to go a lot longer than that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
40 to 42 normally keepers, isn't it?
Shilton played till we're 45, I think.
Yeah. Well, one of the big reasons he came to Wembley, he wanted to be closer to home anyway, because he's a Yorkshire lad at heart anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, probably. Mm.
I think it's having that experience as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really buy that experience sometimes, can you?
I think that's what we lacked last season. With, don't get me wrong, Bailey Peacock-Powell was a good keeper, but he's 24.
Yeah.
They're very rare you get a keeper that's matured in a keeper level at 24.
Yeah. Before we move on to your third and final game of the festive period, ATID said that January is crucial for you, Jake. Barnsley, Argyle, then Ipswich will be make or break for your season. Can only see Wednesday guaranteed with Argyle and Ipswich fighting it out to see who joins you. So yeah, three tough.
If you actually look at the point prediction, there's a really good Twitter account called PG Profit.
Yeah.
On Twitter, and he does all like that what your predictions are, and so far it's very, very tight at the top for who goes up, because I think it got us and Plymouth now on 92 points and Ipswich are now on 89.
Be absolutely heartbreaking to miss out on automatic promotion on 89 points, wouldn't it?
It would, wouldn't it? Yeah.
ATID has also said unless we absolutely bottle it again, which is more than likely the case with Argyle, but
you won't get any positivity out of ATID, will you?
I'm gonna say every week I think he's very pessimistic in terms of how Argyle are going to do. But
he's also, I think he's also a realist with how many years he's seen his club.
Yeah.
So it's probably hard to come out of that situation.
But no, it's been a decent festive period for Argyle, and a very good one for Wednesday. They've rounded it off with
Cambridge do not like coming to Sheffield Wednesday. Last season, it was 6-0.
Oh, they've improved then.
And that was a Berahino hat trick. And if you're wondering where he is now, he's playing in Cyprus. This was a very good performance by Wendy. The best game I've seen Wilkes had. Started well, looked superb.
Yeah, set the expectation bar low and then you're not disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I certainly feel your ATID. I'm exactly the same.
Josh Windach with a very good strike to start it off with. Played some really good football. And you're wondering, are we going to have one of those games where we just go for it? And the answer is yes. Patterson gets brought down in the box. I thought it looked a little bit soft for me. But Michael Smith, you're thinking, hang on a minute. He told keepers which way he goes. Is he going to go the same way just to see what happens? No, he went the other way just to wind him up. But we played some good football. It was good attacking play. And whenever they did have the ball, Volks and Byers were superb. Now, the one thing we did was, for that first goal by Windass, it was a ball over the top. And Wilkes that kind of spun off to the right, ready to get it. But it's over the top balls that were absolutely killing them when we were going forward. And we were timing the runs perfectly. And it was a really good taken shot. Palmer, second half. Well, Palmer doesn't score many. Now, I think there's a 4 goals.
You keep saying that, Jake, but he's got about 6 this season, hasn't he?
Oh, he's got 4 this season, hasn't he?
Palmer doesn't score many, but he scored again. Palmer doesn't score many, but he scored again.
See, I'm going to keep saying it because he might get top goal scorer. Smith is now on 7 goals this season as well, which is good. Windass again with a fantastic strike. He just really knows how to hit that light. And the best part about the second one is the angle. It was so tight. Wilt plays it to him, the angle tight, and just gets it inside the post. And then for his hat trick, lovely goal again, similar kind of thing, outside of the box, hits it, same corner, it's 5-0. Now, the thing here, people are complaining about him not celebrating. Go look at his goal compilations and stuff. He doesn't celebrate. He rarely does. It goes back to a comment his dad said about not celebrating goals in the Duck Pub League. I won't allow you to celebrate goals in that league. But he doesn't tend to anyway, because I think he just sees it's his job to score. Yeah. And if you actually see it's my job to score goals, then you can kind of go understand it. And you don't need to go full out celebration. If that's what you've done, he's got the match ball. He's done his job. He goes home happy. Yes, he deactivated his Twitter account. Don't know why. It could be idiots, but like it's weird. We win 5-0, but Wednesday fans are still now got to find something else to moan about. But it was a very good performance, and we just played some good football. But 9 points. I wanted 9 points after this Christmas period. I got what I wanted and played some excellent football while doing it. And yeah, Barry Bannon being out for a while is a bit of a blow, but we're in transfer window. Maybe we loan someone to come in just for that period, just to cover it. It'll be interesting to see what we do in the transfer window, because we need defenders, but we've also got a lot of them that might be back soon. We're currently injured, so it'll be interesting. Yeah, that's the funny thing on Twitter. You'll see, someone will put where are the more out of now, and then the moment we lose, it's like, oh, out. It's like, look at his record. I mean, he got a 48% win percentage, the best we've had at the club for ages.
I saw a graphic. I think Stevie Spence might have tweeted it. I think, are you the second top scorers in 2022?
Yeah. 104, I think.
That's not bad going in a calendar year, that.
Just behind a certain Man City.
Yeah. And you've started 2023 off with 5.
Yeah. And I think we got like 97 points from 2022 or something like that.
Mm.
Last season was about acclimatizing to the league. And I think last season we couldn't sign players anyway due to transfer embargo.
Yeah.
This season we've been able to consolidate that and put it to it. Sometimes the football Darren Moore plays isn't pretty. And sometimes you have to grin and bear it. But when he can get on playing well, it's superb to watch.
Yeah.
It's horses for courses, isn't it? I mean, every game is individual. I mean, if you're playing battlers like Accrington, you can't put the fluid football together. Sometimes you've got to battle results out.
Yeah.
That's the one thing we've done this season. It's the one thing we did last season that we were bad at. We weren't very good at battling results out. And that's a hardened thing for Darren Moore, getting it into players. But you look at the players we've brought in, we've got players who can do that now. And I think we just got to get all these injuries out of the way and we'll be on a good run.
Like I say, you had a strong end to last season, so another strong end to this one, and it's looking like a positive season for Wednesday. Season that's not so positive, looking at the table, is Forest Green, MK Dons, Morecambe, Burton, Accrington, Cambridge, all in the mix for relegation in League One. But nobody's getting cut adrift yet, are they?
No.
To be honest with you, I mean,
the one that could get out of that for me, possibly Morecambe.
Yeah, exactly, because I thought Morecambe were dead and buried, but 2 wins on the spin and a 5-0 win against Burton, which is a fantastic result for them. Yeah. I was mentioning before we came on air, I didn't think Morecambe could score 5 goals for the rest of the season.
No.
And also, those 5 goals, Cole Stockton didn't get any of them.
Yep. I worry for Accrington Stanley.
Yeah.
They've been
possibly Cambridge.
Yeah. It's
Forest Green, I think, will go down.
Yeah.
I think they will go down. I think they're not too far away, but they've got no sort of form. No sort of form at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say 4 from the current bottom 7.
I'm still not too sure about MK Dons. Yes, they got 2 wins, but they needed to pounce on that.
Yeah, well, them 2 wins a bit of a flash in the pan. It's been a tough season for them, hasn't it? Losing key players,
and especially going with a manager who used to be a coach who's now a manager. It's different. It's not something as easy as just going, this is what we're going to do, kind of thing. And those things take time. It's like Morecambe and Burton, the ones who I can see getting out of it. Because Burton, up until recently, had a little bit of a run.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that'll have damaged the confidence. No end that getting dumped 5-0 at Morecambe. That'll have destroyed the confidence.
Yeah, it's completely closed the point tally up, hasn't it? That result.
Yeah.
And that's what we say about the 6 pointers. If Burton had won that one, Morecambe would be getting.
If you actually look at what
Tyler
said about Charlton, he doesn't seem very positive about them staying up. But I think they'll be up.
Yeah, I think
Charlton will be fine.
Yeah, they've got enough about them to avoid that. I mean, a good win at
they had a fantastic win at Pompey, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, moving towards the top end of the table, we've got ATID. Cheltenham away was awful. Referee, no flow to the game at all, but hard-earned win. Wickham at home, glad the Wickham lad collapsed is okay. But we shithoused them again. And MK Dons at home, another training match. So positive festive period for them, keeps them top of the pile coming into 2023. But Ipswich dropped points today at Lincoln, a 1-1 draw there, which has opened the door for Sheff Wednesday just to sneak into the top two.
I will say something, that goal difference might be something that counts towards it.
It could, yeah.
Definitely.
And Wednesday's goal difference are better than anybody's.
Exactly.
Derby looks strong.
That's Plymouth.
Derby are starting to look strong, as are Bolton. Barnsley's form's dropped off a little bit, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, a draw and a defeat in the last 5, I think.
Yeah.
And
Wickham are doing Wickham things again.
How long do we think we see a tweet from Plymouth, not Plymouth, Peterborough turning around and say their manager had been sacked?
Yeah, this is the thing. They're underachieving this season for me.
And Portsmouth, to be fair. I don't know how long.
But it's still very, very tight. Apart from the top 2, it's still very tight from 4th onwards to Port Vale and Exeter, who still could mount a challenge, as could Bristol Rovers, really.
Yeah, easily.
Pompey are going backwards.
Yeah, like Jake said, Pompey. How long are they gonna stick with the Cowleys up? It's a heavy shirt to wear, isn't it? And
I think the Portsmouth thing. I don't think it's a manager situation at Portsmouth. I think there's something not right behind the scenes there because they've not seemed to get. You've got managers who know how to get out of this league who've been there. Yeah. And for whatever reason, they can't seem to get it right.
Like Dan said, it's a heavy shirt to wear because the expectation down there at Fratton Park is massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having the right players to deal with that expectation, that pressure, isn't it? But out of the top 6 at the minute, can you see anybody dropping out of that and anybody sneaking in, or do you think it's settling down a little bit?
Well, to be quite honest, I mean, I expect Derby to be his top 6. Bolton are doing well, but can they keep it up? Barnsley have got to pick themselves up a little bit more. Posh are going backwards. They're a bit like Blackburn in the Championship. They don't draw games.
No.
They either win or lose them.
Yeah.
If I were to choose a dark horse, it's Bristol Rovers.
Yep.
I think Bristol Rovers under Joey Barton are a different kettle of fish this season. I think they're very strong at home, and they can pick away points up as well. So, yeah, and you've got to give Darryl Clark some credit at Port Vale. He's doing absolutely brilliant for the first season up.
You've got to remember both Bristol Rovers and Port Vale, they went on runs at the end of last season, so they know how to do this.
Yeah, that's true. Bristol Rovers going into the last game weren't they 7th? About 9th or something like that.
Yep.
And the beats, as I remember, they beat somebody 7-0 to get in the playoffs.
It was goal difference that got them there.
Yeah.
Crazy. Hopefully League 2 doesn't end quite as chaotically as that this season.
It's very exciting, League 1 this season.
Oh, yeah.
It really is.
I think the thing is, it just shows you how tight it is. It's like the big thing is next week with the FA Cup game, the only team that doesn't have a FA Cup game out of the top 3 is Plymouth.
Yeah.
We both got games where you could do without it, but that also does mean when it comes to
I know, but I mean, from Wednesday's point of view, it's a hell of a money spinner.
Oh, God, yeah, it is. No, on terms of cash, it could be the difference of a permanent player or a loan player.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And the thing is, but what it does do, it does put both Ipswich and Wednesday on an even keel in terms of game because we both got a game to play.
Yeah, and obviously Ipswich will have a 4th round tie as well because they'll do us. I'm expecting a Freddie Ladapo hat-trick, to be quite honest with you.
I can see that.
Nice to have that confidence in.
Yeah. But I'm only going down to chalk a ground off, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. It's weird because
I thought Dan were disgusted. Then I'm going to walk out.
It's weird though. Ladapo's had such a weird turn at Ipswich where he's become quite good.
He is good. He's got an awful lot of natural ability. It's just that what goes on between his ears is the problem.
Mm.
You know.
But no, that's Championship and League One covered. I just had to let the dog out. Scratching at the door.
I thought I'd upset you, Dan.
No. Dog just locked himself in my room. Moving on to League Two, our festive period wasn't as bad as Rotherham's, but it wasn't quite as good as Sheffield Wednesday's. A mixed bag of results, and it started pretty negatively at Tranmere, a team that had not won in 10. They were struggling to score. Doncaster come to town, and it's a very easy 3-0 victory. And
you did actually call this one.
Yeah, a very poor performance by all accounts. Question to you guys: there was reports of Tom Anderson reacting to fans who'd been abusing him throughout the game. Apparently said a few choice words to them, flagged them off, and then sarcastically clapped. What's your thoughts on that? For me personally, I think footballers, they're in the limelight, they're in the public eye, and I think they need to kind of control their emotions a lot more than what anybody else does.
To be honest with you, Dan, Rovers fans have paid a lot of money to go over to the Wirral on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
And whether it be in a car, on a coach, or whatever, they've paid the money. They're entitled to have an opinion.
But let's also.
And Anderson, as a player, should respect that, and he should. Well, I know it's difficult sometimes not to react to criticism, but he should be more professional than to have a go like that.
Dan, you need to change the ticker.
Oh, I do. Sorry.
But my thing is as well, though, let's also remember, yes, he shouldn't have done that, but also he's a human being. Human will react to shit.
Yeah, whatever. True enough.
So
yeah.
You've got to, sometimes you get, our club captain, he shouldn't be doing it. But at the same time, if you've been getting thick all game, it's the one job in the world where you're not allowed to have a go at like your bosses or if someone's supporting you. Any other career, any other job, if somebody at your workplace, say you make a mistake on something, said, oh, you've done a rubbish job there, yet every single one of them been right, but the one that person sees, it's like, well, you've done that one, yeah, but I've done loads that's right. I think emotion get the better of people. And I think
it does. It does. I mean, look at James McLean at Wigan. Every team has a go at James McLean, don't they? He's every horrible, time Wigan go anywhere in the country, they pick on McLean. And they do that because he reacts to it.
Yeah.
He reacts to it every time.
I think a lot of the time, though, McLean probably reacts in a more positive way. I think he kind of feeds off of that a little bit.
Yeah. Possibly, yeah.
I mean, I remember when Wigan came down to the Rovers and somebody were giving him some grief down as he was about to take a corner, and the lad giving him grief, he wasn't the slimmest of chaps, and McLean made it very clear that he wasn't one of the slimmest of chaps. He was just stood there like,
ATID got it spot on.
What's that, sorry?
ATID got it spot on.
Yeah, so what you said, Ian, about kind of fans have got a right for an opinion, completely get that. I think anybody who's paying to watch football should have an opinion. But I think ATID is hitting the nail on the head here, saying that fans can overstep the mark sometimes, and players are humans too. I think, yeah, it's one of those. It's tough.
I think the thing is, football, it's the one job where footballers don't have a say on what's happening. They have to take the abuse, whatever happens.
True enough.
He's not the club captain.
He's had an armband for the last couple of games, though.
That's why I say captain.
Yeah, Clayton's club captain officially, as is Rowe. I think he's like the second captain. But obviously, with those two players not being on the pitch, Anderson's had the armband over the last couple of games. But for me, I think we've got to look back at the positive stuff that Anderson's done for the club in the time that he's been here. I think he's done much more positive than negative. And by the sounds of things, he was getting some absolute dog's abuse at Tranmere. Rightfully or wrongly, I'm not sure. The performance clearly wasn't there because we got battered 3-0. But yeah, it was radio silence from the club after that, and I don't think it helped. Because as we went into the game against Rochdale, this was a crazy game.
This was insane.
Wasn't expected, we'll put it that way. Obviously, Rochdale are having a tough time of it this season. They're currently in the bottom two. But a great start from the Rovers, 2-0 up in under 10 minutes. Ben Close's finish was superb. And 9 minutes in, I'm thinking we're battering these. There's gonna be a cricket score. Clearly had some choice words said to them after the Tranmere game, but then we just seemed to stop doing everything positive that we'd done in the first 10 minutes and allowed Rochdale to peg us back to 2-2 before, just on the 16th minute. And then it was one of those where I was thinking, here we go again. We've let a lead slip. Are we going to have enough to pull it back? Wonderful free kick from Biggins got us in at half time. And then I thought, right, we'll push on now. But Rochdale performed really well in the second half, put us under a lot of pressure. Sinclair got his goal on the 76th minute, a decent header, which I think Mitchell should have done better with. And at that point, I was thinking, the tide's turned, Rochdale's tails are up. Are they going to go in front for the first time in the game and get the 3 points? But then, kind of written in the stars, Tom Anderson had been booed at every single touch. Fans had made their opinion quite clear. For me, boo his team selection, boo his first touch, and then that's it for me. It's done. You've had your say. He's had his say. But yeah, he quietened down everybody booing and scored the winner on the 81st minute. So crazy game of football, and one that, yeah, I'm glad we came out at the right end of the scoreline, but it's put Rochdale in a bit of a position.
Hey, Biggins is scoring some good goals this season, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Every one of them's a good strike.
But you know what the nice thing about this? 10 shot, 4 on target. What score? 4-3. It shows that you can be clinical.
And scorers are spread as well with Seaman, Close, Biggins and Anderson. Decent result. Happy with that. Liz is in the chat. No need to boo him every time he touches the ball. The atmosphere was toxic. It was. But a win.
I'm not going to lie. Every time we've spoken to you this year, last year, Dapper, it sounds like that's been the case for a while.
Yeah, I think there's an expectation at the club where we're expecting to get promoted. We're expecting it to be easier than what it is, and I think we're at the level now. Me personally, I think we're at the level that we deserve to be at, and it's going to take a long time for Danny Schofield to implement his style of play. A bit like Ian was saying earlier, it's going to take a couple of transfer windows. Just hope that he's backed and he gets the time that he needs, because yesterday we saw what was the potential of a Doncaster Rovers team playing well under Danny Schofield in a result that I think would have shocked the majority of the footballing world who knows anything about lower league football. Carlisle playing very, very well this season on a decent run of results, and we outplayed them, outperformed them, we outfought them, outran them. Every single player did their job better than his opposing number, and we deserve.
It was a bad defensive mistake for Rovers' first goal, though, weren't it? Because the guy should have put it out for a corner.
Yeah, it's come across from Miller, and I think he's just got his feet mixed up, hasn't he? I don't know what he's tried to do. I don't know if he's tried to put it out for a corner or just try and turn on it or something, but whatever he tried to do, he didn't pull off very well.
For a tight angle as well, weren't it?
Yeah, very tight angle, and James Maxwell's just fired it past Thomas Hawley at his near post, so I think he'll look back at that and be disappointed with that, the way that he conceded that one. But then we hit the crossbar in the first half. Kyle Hurst had a really good opportunity at around 56, 57 minutes that he blazed over. And they put another good run by Miller. He's taking it around Holy. And the angle was tight, but I think the composure just to dink it over to the edge of the 6-yard box for Hurst to finish was superb. And I was a bit disappointed that we conceded. I didn't think we deserved to concede yesterday. To be fair, I thought we defended really well. Roshan Williams had a fantastic game, but it was a long ball. Kyle Noyle got beaten with a flick on, and Christian Dennis, I think that's his 15th goal this season.
He's been doing that all his career, hasn't he? Really?
Yeah, he made it a nervy last 6 or 7 minutes with added time, but we stood firm and got a very, very good 3 points there. ATID's in the chat. Every fan base has the Muppets, but for some reason, Donny's Black Bank takes quite some beating when it comes to conflicting opinions. I'd agree with you on that. It's we've got a fair share of tools. But like you said, Ian, everybody's entitled to their opinion when they're paying the money to watch the team.
Exactly.
And that's a good thing about football. Everybody's got their own opinion.
Why we do this show?
Yeah, we don't have to listen to everybody's opinion, do we? So, looking at the league table, Gillingham starting a
lost
new era.
Again today.
Yeah, another defeat. The new era has not started quite as well as people were expecting.
To be honest with you, if they survive, it'll be a miracle.
Yeah. Do you think January is going to be a big turner for them if they get some
Crawley Town striker in, even though their announcements are so cringy?
And it's not looking good for Rochdale because Hartlepool might not be getting the results, but they're starting to score goals.
Yeah.
And Collier's win over Swindon were incredible.
Did you hear about Crawley as well? Like, apparently they put their entire team up for sale.
Accidentally.
Yeah. Well, I'll have a word with Matt Taylor, see if we can get some bargain buys.
It's still a weird situation what's going on with Crawley, how it's run. I don't get it.
And I think
and a massive shout out for Simon Weaver having to pulling Harrogate out of the fire with some decent results.
Yeah, I think for me though, Crawley's probably my team that I worry for coming into the second half of the season. Possibly if Gillingham gets some decent additions,
need to go on a run and a big one.
To be honest,
I'm not saying it's not impossible because it's not, but
it's very difficult.
It's difficult, but the confidence is gone.
Yeah. Well, I think any one of these teams gets a little run together and it pulls one of these three back into it, doesn't it? They're trying to be kind of the fighting for the worst team, aren't they? Really, this season.
Yeah.
But 7 goals.
To me, Gillingham are dead. Unfortunately, but I think they are National League bound.
Season.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Moving to the top end of the table, Leyton Orient defeated today by Northampton.
And Stevenage won. That's tightened that up.
Yeah. So results that have changed the complexion of the top 3 a little bit.
Carlisle's defeat could be interesting getting Charlie Austin.
Wow, I know. What a signing that is.
Signing.
That could be the difference for them.
Yeah, definitely. ATID with a comment that said it on Sky Sports earlier, who's going to want to go to Gillingham and risk having non-league football next season. It's a good point. You've got to it's going to be a hard sell, isn't it?
You're going to have some belief in yourself.
Yeah, definitely. For all our inconsistency this season, we're not positioned too badly. 1 point outside of the playoffs.
You're in contention, Dan, definitely.
Yeah, it's just we need to find that consistency, and our next game is a tough one. It's away at Leyton Orient, and then we've got Crawley away the week after that. So, yeah, I'd be very happy with 4 points.
It's the one division out of the 3 EFLs where anybody can beat anybody. Is absolutely true.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Like I said, Colchester beating Swindon, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, you're getting teams like Walsall that are coming 4 wins out of 5. Yeah. They've come from nowhere.
They're in unreal form at the minute.
Yeah.
Very good form. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting 2023. The season will be over before we know it, unfortunately. Every every division is now halfway through. I think everybody's played at least 23 games. So what we're seeing in the tables is pretty much, well, it's generally where it ends, isn't it? So
where you're going to be at the end of it. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think Ian would be happy with finishing the league now.
Oh, I would. I'd be absolutely delighted.
I think Jake, you'd
because
be
we're not in the
finishing
bottom
league
three,
now.
so I'd be absolutely
delighted.
And for me, I could do a couple more games just to sneak into that playoff picture.
Yeah,
but
yeah, but all is not lost for any of us, really, is it? Really,
it isn't. So we're 23 games in at least, and we're still none the wiser as to what's going to happen to our seasons.
Well, that's why we love it so much.
Yeah, definitely. Luca's in the chat. Big up. Hello, Luca. Thank you for joining us.
Up the arse.
Johnny will sneak 7th. I'll take that for sure. Yeah. But no, that's where we're going to leave this one. As I say, we were just going through our festive fixtures because there were so many of them, catching up a little bit. We'll be back to usual format and showing from next, maybe not next Sunday. FA Cup, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but there's a few league games.
Yeah, we'll wing it as we do every Sunday.
Yeah.
But I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you've had a very good Christmas. I hope you've had a good New Year. Thanks again for Ian and Jake joining me and talking all things EFL. This has been the 72 review. If you enjoyed it, big thumbs up on it for us, please. Comments in the section down below and subscribe to all of us if you haven't already. And all that's left for us to say is thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.